All right. Hey guys, Anthony with Austin Dark Weapons Guild here with Joshua. Again, we are hanging out at Vigilante, our new home away from home. Today we're going to dig into Lignitzer's play number 3. This one's kind of interesting, kind of fun. We just did some testing of this, make sure it works out, and we have from what I've seen, slightly newer interpretation that we like way more and makes way more sense and kind of fits all the pieces better. This play is done from the Vex How. Again, from my knowledge of Meyer's longsword, Vexel is this guard where you're kind of in after a longsword cut, point kind of forward, so not quite Elber, more off to the side where you make these changing throughs. And the Vexel How in particular is this pulling back edge cut from this Vexel position. So it's kind of back edge cut leading into the bind. One interesting description about this is he describes it as being from the buckler. So I'm not doing it like you would a longsword pulling everything up, but instead it's a very quick kind of snap of the wrist, snap of the elbow almost to lock in that position. So you've kind of thrown a cut, snapping it back up to make the bind. We also don't really have a starting position for our antagonist. So we're kind of just doing it in they're cutting knock rise in after our cut. So we're starting at that longer distance, right? We'll be 2 steps away. So 1, 2, and I come in, throw my cut. He does nothing. He doesn't bait. He steps in after, step in. And I bring in that Vexel How pressure there. From here, he describes turning through, cutting from the left side here. And notice he's still in the bind, so he's going to lock this out and just give me pressure. This kind of stops him from leaving the bind. From here, as I turn out, unshield, and walk away, I'm going to bring my sword to the other side and just walk across and kind of leave the fight with his mouth maybe. So again, kind of from the top, again, we'll demonstrate from that longer distance before we move in. So I cut, he does nothing, I snap up, I cut through, and I mutate around, duplicate around actually, and place through there. The text verse goes on to kind of describe if he raises up to counter that and taking that right leg. So again, I'll cut, I'll snap up, cut through. As I go to duplicate, he comes up. I still walk, but I just take that right leg. As I go, obviously I can turn and square up, keeping myself safe, but his weapons are going high as I'm walking past and striking him. So I'm really not worried about an afterblow in any kind of real tempo, and I can always re-square up and work from there. So one more time with the raise counter. I'll cut to Vexel, snap up, snap around. As I go through to walk, he raises high to protect his face, and I can walk through into leg. Real quick, I do kind of want to interpret or show the other interpretation we have had, and I think I've seen elsewhere. So again, I don't have any sources because I don't watch videos because I'm that guy. So again, I'll cut to the Vexel, I'll come up, drive this over, and I'd always seen it done kind of like I walk through here. And maybe I can kind of drive the tip in a little bit. And as he shoots up, I can kind of come around, but I have a hard time getting that right leg. I'm staying his left leg unless I really drop for the shins and ankles, which doesn't seem like a practical use. I also don't clear space the same way. So that other interpretation where we're walking to the outside the entire time from the Vexel, coming up, pressing this out, taking that leg, makes a lot more sense. It's also worth noting this is a mirror of what we saw, I believe, from plate 2 with the 2 shields. I think that was 2. Where as he makes his attack, I come up here and I step out that same way and take that left leg. He used that same verbiage, turn uncovered, to make the strike to the head. So I feel this really makes a lot of sense for that interpretation, that dynamic. Last thing real quick before we wrap up, I'll do the left side real quick, kind of showing the mirror, the left-handed Vexel for these, and probably just call it a night from there. So I'm going to start down low. He throws that cut from that side. I come in that same way, driving this time I strike to the right, which he'll meet. I'll turn this over, go to step through, coming across. This time if he picks up, makes the cut, I catch, drive to the right, go to walk through, This time I'm going to get the left leg as I walk past and out of the fight. So that is our Lignitzer play 3. Again, it feels a lot like the mirror of the second option, where the key of this is turning uncovered to make attacks to low openings. So this really feels like I'm focusing on moving heavily offline. I'm going away from the person across the fight. One of the things I talk about in a lot of my other videos is the idea of like walking to brush shoulders. And this offline movement is definitely that, if not more so, where instead of even bumping shoulders, I'm exiting even more strongly with that turning uncovered motion. And that seems to be what Lignitzer's intent of by turning away uncovered is you're just walking past, walking through, driving your long edge into a target that's high. And if they parry that, immediately drop low as you keep walking past. So if there are any questions, comments, or insights on this, I'd love to hear that. I'd love some extra feedback. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, guys. And Wednesday, we should have our kickoff for our new Fabrics videos. Thank you very much.